I was literally calling the banks, like cold calling them, like, hey, can I get a loan for 30 units? Or like, well, does it meet the DSCR? And I'm like, DSC who? And clearly I blew that call, right? I mean, I was like, but we all have to start somewhere.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm like, look, I get it. You don't think I'm real, but I will be real to you one day.
3, 2, 1.
Tseko.
That's good.
Today we have an unbelievable story, an unbelievable guest. This is the right-hand man of Grant Cardone, Cardone Capital. These guys are multi-billion-dollar asset managers in the real estate space. Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to come out here today. How you doing?
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Of course, our pleasure.
It's great. Like when I come to New York City, I literally posted this, like, whose podcast can I go on? I had like 7 or 8. No other city can you do that. So number one, thanks for having me here. I look to add value.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So I read your bio and I was like, oh my God, there's just no way I'm going to recite this off the script. Can you just give a little background on who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so look, my background is actually quite interesting because I started out as a pilot. Most people know me as Captain Ryan. When I was really young, though, my uncle was a developer, so I've always been in the real estate game. When I hit 17, I realized I didn't have any money because he looked at me. I'm like, I want to do my first house. I want to do my first flip. And he's like, son, you don't have any money. And so I literally made the decision, okay, I'm either going to use my hands and work at all these odd jobs, or I looked at him one day and I'm like, I could actually get paid to fly airplanes. And so I was 17 years old. I just got my driver's license. I then got my pilot's license. And, I was hired on at the airlines at the age of 21 years old. 2008, 2009 happened. I actually upgraded to captain when I was 23. So these are the youngest ages that you could actually become first officer and then captain. I was flying a $40 million jet at the age of 21 years old.
Jeez. Wow.
So this is crazy. Like I literally went into the office to get hired, and I was still wet behind the ears. Like I literally was 21 years old flying a $40 million jet for United Express. With that in mind, I always wanted to be in real estate because I knew I couldn't trade my time for money. Like we all here sit today like, okay, I can go and work my ass off and go and get paid $100, $150 an hour. But there's something about real estate that has always been inside of me. And I've always been a very curious cat. I've always been curious. And for me, it's always been about timing. I know this is kind of vague, but I'll get into it later. I always studied my uncle. He was a developer. I always studied timing. When do you do this? When do you do the foundation? When do you do the walls? When do you do the plumbing? When do you do? Because I think timing is very important in any real estate deal. And so as I was going through my career at the airlines, I hit 25 years old, and I'm like, okay, I need to get back into real estate. In 2008, 2009, 2010 happened. So perfect timing. And I got a crash pad. That was my first thing. So I was a pilot, right? I got a single family home. 50% discount in Scottsdale, Arizona. Nice. And I literally had a 4-bedroom home that I rented 3 rooms out, stayed in the master for free, had $400 extra coming in. Realized one of the mistakes that I made was I didn't want to live with these people, right? I was okay. I was like, this is super dope. This is super cool, but I didn't want to live with people and collect rent. Right. And so then I bought my first 4-plex. But really for me, it's like, okay, people are like, well, how did you go from being a pilot to a real estate to fund to, running Cardone Capital with Grant Cardone? Well, it's been the plan from the beginning. It's just taking, 20 years. I mean, I've got 10,000 hours in flying. I've been flying for almost 40 years old. So I've been flying for 23 years, and I've been with Grant for almost 10. And I've been doing real estate since my first single family for 15 years.
It's amazing.
So I've been doing both. Like that's what people, they get a little confused, but I've been doing both for a very, very long time. And I encourage other people to do that too. You got a job? Go and get a piece of real estate. You got a job? Go work for somebody else. You got a job? Like you can't break away from what's making you money. Mm-hmm. You got to start studying now so that way you could actually buy and control real estate.